Batman may be one of the most iconic superheroes ever created, but he's almost never truly alone. Since the early 1940s, the mantle of Robin has been worn by several heroes, each with their own personality, strengths, flaws, and tragic stories. Today, we're breaking down every single version of Robin in the DC universe, from the very first Boy Wonder to the son of Dark Knight himself. The first one, Dick Grayson. The story begins with Dick Grayson, the son of a family of acrobats known as Flying Graysons. During one of their performances, the ropes were sabotaged by criminals because the family refused to pay protection money to the mob. Dick's parents fell to the death, and a young Bruce Wayne, sitting in the audience, witnessed the tragedy. Bruce saw himself in Dick. Just like him, the boy had lost everything to the crime, so he made the decision to take him in. After some time, Dick discovered the truth, the Batcave, the costume, the mission, and soon after, he became the very first Robin, the Boy Wonder. Together, Batman and Robin became an unstoppable duo. They balanced each other. Batman was dark and brooding, while Robin brought light and optimism. But as Dick grew older, he wanted his own independence. Eventually, he left Gotham for Bloodhaven, created the Teen Titans, and took on a new heroic identity, Nightwing. Nightwing remains one of the most important heroes in DC to this day. Next, Jason Todd, the tragedy of Robin. Next up, Jason Todd is the second Robin and one of the most tragic. Jason Todd was a troubled kid growing up on the streets. He made reckless decisions, one of which was trying to steal the tires of Batmobile. Instead of punishing him, Bruce took him in and gave him the Robin mantle. But Jason was different from Dick. He was angry, impulsive, and much more violent toward Gotham's criminals. Batman tried to guide him, but things spiraled. And then came the Joker. In the story A Death in the Family, 1988, Jason was captured, beaten with a crowbar, and left to die in an explosion. His death shook Batman and comic readers. Okay, let me tell you something. Fans literally voted by phone whether Jason would die or live, and the majority of voters vote for death. But death in comics is rarely permanent. Jason eventually returned, resurrected by Lazarus Pit, but with a darker personality. He re-emerged as Red Hood, an anti-hero who uses lethal methods Batman would never approve of. Jason's story represents what happens when Batman's mission fails and it still haunts Bruce. Next up, Tim Drake, the Detective Robin. The third Robin was Tim Drake, often called the most intelligent and detective-like of Robins. Tim was chosen by tragedy. He chose Batman. After carefully studying Gotham's heroes, Tim actually figured out Batman's secret identity on his own. He confronted Bruce and argued that Batman needed a Robin, someone to balance his darkness and keep him human. Bruce agreed and Tim officially became Robin. Over time, he proved to be not just capable but brilliant. Eventually, he took on the identity of Red Robin, through later circled back to working alongside Batman. Unlike Jason, Tim was calm, logical, and strategic. He's the Robin who represents the mind of a bad family. Number 4, Stephanie Brown, the Forgotten Robin. Here is one not everyone remembers. Stephanie Brown was originally the hero spoiler who fought crime to sabotage her father, a minor villain known as Cluemaster. Eventually, she earned Batman's trust and temporarily became Robin. However, her time as Robin was short-lived. In the controversial War Games storyline, she was seemingly killed off. Through later stories revealed she survived. She returned to Bat Family, reclaimed her spoiler identity, and eventually became Batgirl. While Stephanie isn't often remembered as one of the main Robins, she's still an important part of the legacy. And my favorite, Damian Wayne, the son of Batman. Finally, we arrived at the current Robin, Damian Wayne. Damian is unique because he's not just Batman's partner, he's his biological son, born from Bruce Wayne and Talia al Ghul. Damian was raised by the League of Assassins. This means from birth he was trained as a warrior, assassin, and heir to Ra's al Ghul's empire. When Bruce discovered him, Damian was introduced to Gotham, but with his upbringing, he was arrogant, brutal, and deadly. Unlike the other Robins, Damian had to learn restraint. Over time, he became the new Robin, fighting alongside his father while still struggling with his assassin instincts. His dynamic with Batman is one of the most fascinating storytellings in DC, not just a student and mentor, but father and son. And that's the full history of every Robin in the DC universe, from Dick Grayson's hopeful beginning to Jason Todd's tragedy to Tim Drake's brilliance, Stephanie Brown's resilience, and Damian's complicated legacy. Each one of them has carried the name of Robin, but each brought something completely different to the mantle. Now let me know in the comments below, who is your favorite Robin? Nightwing, Red Hood, maybe Damian? I'd love to hear it from you. And my answer will be in the comments below as well. This is Ellie from Hey Jet Set, and I'll see you in the next one.